We got some big news. We got some really big news. Last week,
Look, walking this bitch like, hey, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey,
what is going on, guys? Welcome to Net Worth. I am your host, Justin Pugh. We got some big news. We got some really big news. Last week was our biggest week on the channel. We got 178 new subscribers.
You what?
Now, I don't know if that was a little bit to the title of the show or if it was the amazing content that I'm putting out. But shout out to you guys. I asked for 90 to get us over 500. We got 178. We are currently at 585 subscribers. The goal was 500. We smashed that goal. We got to keep this thing rolling. Obviously, the next goal, I think, will be 1,000 subscribers. Let's keep this thing rolling. I think we're going to do a giveaway now. So I'm working on something to give a signed giveaway. What we're going to do is we're going to pick someone out of the 585 subscribers and give that away. I will sign it. We'll get that sent out to you. It's either going to be a football or something of that nature. We will figure that out this week and I will get that out. Maybe a pair of gloves, something I can get out to you easily. Now, we got a two-game win streak. I don't know if that has something to do with the subscribers or we broke the YouTube algorithm and figured out a way to get into the mainstream. But either way, I will take it. We're on our bye week. Coach gave us off today. We have the week to relax, rehab, enjoy, lift, get our bodies back feeling good, and finish this thing strong down the home stretch. My man Tommy DeVito doing his thing. We got the little Italian, going. He wouldn't even put a name on it. Things are good right now. And don't mind the black eye. I got poked in the eye on Wednesday during practice. My wife is going to kill me because we have a maternity photo shoot on Thursday. I might have to do a little makeup, something to fix this out. But I guess, it's not mascara. People think I look like Adam Lambert from Queen. So what do you guys think? Is it a good look? Should I keep it? Should we roll with it? We'll see. All right, let's hop into what's happening. And obviously today there was some big news. Head coach in the NFL got fired, Frank Reich. This is after 11 games getting fired in the NFL. That's crazy to me. Obviously a coach comes in and you want to allow him to set up coach culture, let him get his coaching staff in there, work with the players. After 11 games, getting fired is insane. A lot of the players found out through social media, which isn't anything new nowadays. It's typically how those things get out. But the thing that's crazy is he was still owed $36 million through 2026, and now the Panthers have fired him 1 year into his 4-year guarantee. He is going to be getting paid to go coach somewhere else. And the Panthers are still paying Matt Rule, which is pretty wild. But I guess when you're a billionaire and you're used to working in the hedge fund world, those dollar amounts don't scare you whatsoever. You want production on the field as soon as possible. But this isn't just a stock or a bond where you can be calculated. There's a lot that goes into building a football team. I know there was a little back and forth about ownership and coaches, who they wanted to draft and certain players. So hopefully that situation gets figured out. I know guys that play and coach in Carolina, a lot of good guys. It's the business of football. This is what happens. If you don't win, people's jobs are on the line. And as you can see with some of these owners and the amount of money that these teams are able to generate, they have no problem letting go of a coach in the first year of his contract. So let's see what happens in Carolina. I don't know who is the hot names. I know they went after the Detroit offensive coordinator last year. I'm sure they'll make another run at him. There will be some young and upcoming coaches that will also take those offers. But it is a win now business or find yourself a seat on the couch. And that's what's going to be happening soon. All right, next up, let's dive into these fines. These fines keep getting more and more egregious. The one that I saw this week that people have been pointing out is the Amon-Ra St. Brown fine. He was fined $43,000 for a block down the field. He said it was 5% of his salary. You look at the block, it is a normal football play. I'm just wondering if we're going to get some type of explanation from the NFL to the general public. But you look at kids from like the high school level up and it's like, how are we going to teach these kids to play football or block and do things the right way, but also limit the exposure to the athletes that are doing it? Because eventually the guys are going to be playing for free. It was 5% of Amon's salary. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Something has to be done here. An explanation has to be set. It goes back to what Tom Brady said last week, and it's going to cause this game to continue to go down a path I don't think we want to. So what do you guys think about these fines? And how do we solve it? What's the problem? Obviously, health and safety for the players is of the utmost importance. But at the same time, how do we keep money in their pockets? It's an answer that we need to figure out because the game needs to figure it out. The next one up is probably the one I'm most excited about. It's the first ever Black Friday game on Amazon Prime. Now, I read on Twitter from Joe Pompliano. He puts a lot of great content out. Amazon paid $100 million for that broadcast on Friday. It was the Jets and the Miami Dolphins. So not like the Jets have been unbelievable to watch on TV. They've had that whole, coming from training camp and being on Hard Knocks, the Aaron Rodgers sagas, and Miami's had a great run. So it was a great game on Friday. But what is so amazing to me is why Amazon paid so much money and how they went about capitalizing on those dollars. I'm going to read a few things to you. First off, last year's game in 2022 averaged 33 million viewers. The Cowboys-Giants game had 42 million viewers. Compare that to like NBA on Christmas Day, which you think would be another great one, only had 4.2 million. So almost 8 times the amount, NFL on Thanksgiving versus NBA on Christmas Day. There was a rule put in, it's called the Sports and Broadcasting Act of 1961, which prohibits NFL games on Fridays after 6 p.m. Eastern and all day Saturday to protect high school and college sports. Obviously, the game was at 3 p.m. They were able to skirt this rule to get the game in. But even better for Amazon, that during the Thursday night football broadcast, they generated more Prime signups than any other 3-hour window in company history. Amazon is reportedly charging 2 times more than their Thursday night broadcast for the 30-second ad placements, which means on Thursday Night Football, they're charging $440,000. On Black Friday, they are charging $880,000 for a 30-second segment. But this is how they are being able to show the value. They're going to the example they gave here, and Joe gave amazing. And Joe, I hope you don't mind me doing this. I would love to have you on the pod one day. But they are doing ad age targets, which means Bose will have different segments. Like here's one. Bose will have 3 different ad categories for people of different ages. And when you sign up, obviously they have your age information. They can target you with these ads. So you pay more for the ad, but you can target specifically who you want to go for. It is brilliant. Obviously, Amazon is a Goliath. They can take over the game. But this example, the first ad is going to have Joe Burrow. The other one probably was for the younger generation. The next will probably be for the older generation and how you can use those products. And they can specifically target these folks. It is only going to generate more and more pockets. So why is this important to NFL players? Obviously, the fans have a different interaction. You are going to be targeted for ads, which is part of this business. You get targeted everywhere else. But why this benefits the players is now the money from this game goes into the salary cap bucket, which trickles down to player salaries. So when players talk about playing on Thursday Night Football, playing on Friday football, and guys get a little mad, I am right there with you. Your bodies don't feel like doing it. But from a money standpoint, we're getting $100 million for one game trickling into the salary cap. That is a good deal for us. So every time I look at it, it's like, hey, let's remember what we're doing this for. We're playing for dollars. We're trading our health for dollars. And this is a good trade, in my opinion. $100 million for one game. We will take it. Now, I'm sure the Jets and the Miami Dolphins are going to say, why? We should get a fair shake of the deal, but let's see what's going to happen. Every year, a new team will be playing in this game. Or does a team stake a claim to this game right now? A team like the New York Giants or New York Jets that are in one of the finance hubs of the world. It could be a great game to have in this area. All right, the last thing we're going to touch on is fantasy football. There's been a little dust up with some coaches, some players. There's a little NBA reference in there as well. Mike McDaniel said a few weeks ago, what are you betting on fantasy football? Talking to one of the reporters who was asking if one of the running backs was going to play.
Hey, Chan, I know you were talking about him earlier. Given what you know about his injury, is he the type of guy that you'd be able to put back in his typical workload, or would you have to ease him?
Dude, what kind of money do you have in fantasy football?
Obviously, coaches are very, very aware of this. A guy like Mike McDaniels obviously is super in tune to that, and he's very hip to what's going on in the game right now. And then one that is kind of a black eye on the fans right now is Justin Jefferson case. He came out and tweeted, "My health is way more important than you winning your fantasy football games. It doesn't matter how many times you guys flood my DMs talking about me selling your team. I do not care." And then he reiterated again the next morning, the amount of people that really criticize you and talk very, very bad about you, calling you different names, and you're just trying to be healthy and trying to be your best on the field. I'm more worried about doing my duty and being healthy. Respect to Justin Jefferson. He is one of, if not the best receiver in the game. There is nothing Justin Jefferson wants to do more than be on the field. He wants to earn a new contract for his family, for his future. I'm with you, Justin Jefferson. You don't care about people yelling at you for them losing their fantasy. It's part of the game. It's what you guys signed up for. If you're playing fantasy football, yes, you can talk about it in your group chat, but don't go overboard. I've said this before on the podcast, and start tweeting at players, start messaging players. That's where you got to draw the line. There should be some type of driver's license that every fantasy football person has, like a code that follows them, that if you do something drastic, there can be some ramifications from some of those sites where you're banned from playing fantasy sports in the future. We have to learn a way to be more proactive in the way we're doing this. Obviously, it comes back to gambling. Kevin Durant also said last week, when I get you paid for your parlays, you don't DM me and send him a small percentage to his Cash App. But when them parlays don't hit, I'm every name in the book. Y'all ain't real. That is very true. Kevin Durant is one of the best, social media guys. He interacts with the fans. But again, when you win that parlay and Kevin Durant makes that three for you to hit it, or Justin Jefferson makes that catch for you to win the fantasy football playoffs, I don't see you guys sending money to those guys' way. So let's keep a two-way street here. Let's keep it real either way. That is something that I've always been a huge proponent of. And the fans' interaction has to continue to improve. I love the ecosystem. Look at what happened in Philadelphia yesterday. Jordan Phillips, a former teammate of mine, went up to the stands because a Philadelphia fan was heckling him. The one thing I will say about fan bases, especially the Philadelphia fan base, I have no way of knowing how we could ever get that fan base to settle down a bit. I think there was a clip of a young fan flipping off a Bills fan as they're walking into the stadium. I don't think that's ever going to change. With the power of social media and people seeing how bold fans are getting, it's only going to continue to get more and more hectic. There has to be a way to, I guess, build some layer of protection between player and fan bases. I don't know if that's increasing security. I know in soccer they do like those. You kind of have like the dugouts where fans can't necessarily get to you. They're on top of the field, but they can't get to the players as quickly. I think that could be a way to protect some of the visiting players, because you never want to see something that happened in Buffalo with the Eagles, or happening in Philadelphia with the Buffalo players yesterday. When you talk about people's families, you threaten them, you say certain things. Again, there should be some type of fan card that we can put dings on, like a speeding ticket, and you get 3 strikes, you have to pay some kind of penalty, because fans are getting drunk and they want to come to games, they want to have fun, but there should be some accountability to the way they treat players. And vice versa. Obviously, players can't have the same interactions. We don't ever want to have something like what happened with Ron Artest in Detroit happen. So let's find a way to continue to have this ecosystem. We need this ecosystem. The fans need the players need the fans. All these comes back to dollars. This is all a dollar-driven business, and we see it. I've shown examples of the Black Friday and the coaches. I mean, we don't blink twice when it comes to hundreds of millions of dollars in this game. So let's figure out a way to make it all work. All right, next we have a few shout outs. I want to keep it simple with the shout outs this week. We're just going to give a few, but shout out to you guys, man, the net worth community. We started this thing having no idea what to expect. We wanted to share perspective from an active player in the NFL and the business of football and be able to bridge that gap. And it's been an amazing ride to have 500, almost 600 subscribers already. We're shooting for 1,000 this week. Let's get into the YouTube algorithm, the Twitter algorithm. It's been truly amazing. You guys have been great to interact with, the comments, and being able to, dive into the Giants. I didn't even know if I was going to be playing for the Giants this year, but the way you guys have embraced me in this fan base and connected with the net worth community, I really, really appreciate it. And the next thing that I want to do is I want to hop on a Giants podcast this week. It is the bye week. I have some time, so drop the podcast you guys want me to drop into this week. We'll do a short little segment. I want to engage with the community. I want to continue to help you guys out. So let's hop into the reaction from this last game. Obviously, we have the Giants and Patriots game yesterday. We won the game. It was a rainy, crappy game. We had some really good plays, though. We had some great passes by Tommy DeVito in the pocket. It was something that we got down to the red zone a few times. We weren't able to capitalize. We had a turnover. We had negative plays. We had penalties. And we limited the amount of negative plays compared to the Commanders game, but we still weren't able to overcome those down the stretch. Our defense, again, played lights out. I think it's just something that we're continuing to praise. Our defense is playing amazing. Wink's calling a great game. And we're going to continue to ride the hot hand. I mean, I'm assuming that the defense will continue to play at this level. You lose a guy like Dexter Lawrence, and we had some other defensive tackles pop up and play unbelievable. That is something to be thankful for. And heading into this bye week, I am thankful for the community. I'm thankful for my wife. We're doing these maternity shoots with the Black Eye this week. Oh, and I forgot the Pughney Badger of the week. We're going to go with Bobby Okereke this week, who was a linebacker for the Giants. He has broken rib, broken hand, broken finger, hip issue, and he still went out there and played. And he's a representative of what everything is that's great about the NFL and also business of football. If you look out, he's got sponsorships. I know he's got like a pillow company deal he's working on. He's a Stanford guy, so you know they're always working the off the field angle. But for him to go out there, he played an amazing game, had an interception, almost had 2 interceptions. We'll have to give him a hard time for not getting the pick 6 when he was returning that interception. But to go out there and play through the injuries, be a leader of this team. He's first one in, last one out, always working. Admire the way he plays the game the right way. Bobby, you are the Pughney Badger of the week. That's better than anything else, any other accolade you could receive. And what's next is the Green Bay Packers. We have the Green Bay Packers Monday Night Football. And a few weeks from now, we're going to go home, rest, recharge, come back ready to win another game. The Packers are, unbelievable franchise, storied franchise. You have Jordan Love, who's playing better football as of late. He came out hot to start the season, and they're learning to live life without Aaron Rodgers. I know they got some young, talented players. I know their defensive line is great. Kenny Clark's one of the best in the league. Rashawn Gary on the outside, he's an unbelievable player. Preston Smith, you know all about him. So we have our work cut off for us after the bye week. But what we are going to do right now is we are going to enjoy that bye week. We're going to rest, recover. Week 13 bye week's kind of crazy. It's a little late. But thanks again for making it this far in the video. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the community. I encourage you guys, let's get to 1,000 as the next goal. Continue to share this with your loved ones, people that you think might find this interesting. And that's it for me. I'm going to head out in the bye week. Send me the podcast that you guys want me to go on. I'll drop in on someone this week. Shout out to my guys from the Big Blue UK podcast. I know you guys were in the stadium, came to the game. I saw you after. I went on your guys' podcast. It was amazing. Look forward to doing another one of those this week. So take care, guys. We'll see you after the bye.
I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour. Got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him on God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him.